with our next class. In today's class, we are going to discuss mitosis or equational division. Alright. So mitosis or equational division, as per our previous discussion, you already know here the parental cell will divide to form two daughter cells. The daughter cells will be similar to the parent and to each other. Okay. Here the daughter cells will receive equal amount of DNA or equal amount of chromosomes to that of the parental cell. Hence we call it equational division. Alright. Now mitosis, the process, can be divided into three further phases. Okay, there are three phases present in the mitosis. The first is interphase, then comes mitotic phase or M phase, and finally cytokinesis or C phase. Okay, starting with interphase. See, if we have to talk it out as a single, like if you want to define the interphase or M phase or C phase in one line, okay, in one liner, in that case it would be as such. The interphase is the time when the cell is preparing itself for the upcoming division, and that's how, or that's when it will be actually doubling up the cellular contents. Okay, only when it doubles up the cellular contents, it can give equal share of substances to both the daughter cells, so that the daughter cells will be alike, isn't it? Likewise, M phase or mitotic phase is the time when nuclear division will actually take place. That means karyokinesis will take place. And C phase or cytokinesis means when the cytoplasmic division will take place. So actual cell division process is happening in the M phase and C phase. Okay, interphase is merely the time when the cell is preparing itself for the upcoming division by doubling up the cellular content. Okay, so let us start with interphase first. See, interphase is the first phase of the cell cycle and it is the longest phase. See, in any cell, the cell cycle's duration, whatever it may be, but 95% of the cell cycle's duration would be covered under interphase. Okay, only that 5% time which is left would be under M phase and C phase. Alright, so it is the longest phase. Not only that, in interphase, as I told you, actual cell division is not occurring. That's why we can call it resting phase of the cell cycle as well. Okay, now the interphase can be further off divided into three subphases. One is G1 phase or gap 1 phase. Here G stands for gap. Okay, G1 phase is the time when the cell is metabolically the most active and it is synthesizing various types of biomolecules. Hence, we can also call it the biosynthetic phase. Okay, so what kind of synthesis would be taking place? Various substances like protein, then amino acids, RNA, etc. would be synthesized continuously during the G1 phase, so that the cell content would already start to double up. The only thing that won't be synthesized in the G1 phase is DNA. DNA replication or DNA synthesis won't be occurring in the G1 phase. Alright. Now, cellular contents already starts to double up. Fine. Now, S phase or synthesis phase. In the S phase, the DNA synthesis or replication will finally take place. Okay. DNA replication would take place in the S phase. Fine. But do remember here, when the DNA replication will take place, for each DNA content or DNA quantity will be doubling up in the cell. But the number of chromosomes or number of set of chromosomes will not change or will remain unchanged. Fine. So in that case, do remember, when DNA synthesis or replication takes place in the cell, the 2N, that is ploidy of the cell is referred as, for a diploid cell, the ploidy is 2N, isn't it? So 2N will remain 2N. The ploidy or the number of set of chromosomes would remain the same. Only the quantity 2C, C means content. So 2C of the cell would become 4C. 2N remains 2N, 2C becomes 4C. Alright, do remember, this is very, very important. Next, in the chromosome, suppose if this is the chromosome, This being the centromere, isn't it? So during the S phase, a disc-like structure would start developing surrounding the centromere, and that is called kinetochore. Later on, kinetochore will act as the region where spindle fibers will attach. Alright. So kinetochore will develop in the S phase as well. Alright. Third is centrioles will develop, and that is strictly associated with animal cell division. As you know, centrioles are absent in plants. So in animal cell division, centrioles will also develop during the S phase. Okay. Next, G2 phase. G2 phase is continuation of G1 phase. Whatever substances were being synthesized in the G1 phase, those will start to continue, or those would continue to be synthesized in the G2 phase as well. DNA replication or synthesis, that won't be happening at all. That will be completing itself in the S phase itself. Alright. Here there is a special mention of a protein that would start to bulk up in the cell during G2 phase, and that is tubulin protein. Tubulin protein synthesis will be observed in large quantity during the G2 phase in the cell, because later on these proteins, they would start developing or forming the spindle fibers. Okay. Cell organelles will also double up by the time it is G2 phase. Alright. So interphase consists of G1, S and G2 phase. Okay. But something additional should be mentioned here. It may be not a part of the interphase, but it is something that is kind of related to the interphase. We call it G0 phase or quiescent phase. Suppose if a cell decides not to divide. If it decides not to divide or remain permanent, in that case, those cells from the G1 phase, they directly, instead of moving to the S phase, the cell directly moves to the G0 phase. In the G0 phase, the cell would remain metabolically active, but it will not double up the cellular content, and hence it will not divide. But if there is some kind of emergency situation, when there is suppose there is a lot of cell lost in the body, or due to some kind of injury, there is a lot of repairing required, okay, in the body, due to which cell division is required. So at that time, cells in the G0 phase, they can again revert back to G1 phase, from where they can start cell division. Okay. So cells present in G0 phase, they don't remain there forever. Whenever required, they may again get back to division mode. Alright. Understood this? Fine. So that's all about the interphase. Now regarding the nuclear division phase, or M phase or mitotic phase. Now see, mitotic phase being very brief, a lot of changes can be seen in the cell during this phase. So we can call it the most dramatic phase of the cell cycle. The most dramatic phase of the cell cycle. Now, nuclear division or karyokinesis will occur in the cell during this phase. Now, to understand the entire process that would happen now, for the nuclear division, to understand it properly, we can divide the M phase or mitotic phase into 4 further subphases. Alright. Now see, the first one is called prophase. Prophase is the longest among the 4 subphases. Alright. Now, prophase is spatially mostly marked by 2 things. One is the DNA, which is loosely packed and can be seen in the cell in the form of chromatin. Okay, loosely packed DNA. They will now start to undergo spiralization and condensation. And due to that, the DNA will start becoming more and more condensed, and it would become, or it will get converted into chromosomes. Understood this? So, in the prophase, DNA condensation begins, and by the time the prophase is complete, the chromatin will convert into a chromosome. That is the main thing that would be happening in the prophase. Outside the nuclear membrane, on the other hand, spindle apparatus or mitotic apparatus will develop. Alright, these are the 2 highlighting points regarding prophase. Now see here, in the prophase, first, this is the nuclear membrane inside which there is loosely packed DNA. The DNA will start undergoing spiralization and condensation, and outside the nuclear membrane, the centrioles that had doubled up, they would now start to separate. Okay, so two centrosomes will be formed by the time the prophase begins. Now, both the centrosomes, as you can see, they would now start getting surrounded by tubulin proteins which will look like stars. So we call the star-like structures to be aster. To remember, aster formation is only found in animal cells, not in plants. Okay, and we therefore call the animal cell division to be astral cell division and plant cell division to be anastral cell division. Alright. Now, in between the two aster, the tubulin proteins will start to assemble, and the assembly of tubulin proteins would form the microtubules, which will be termed here as the spindle fibers. Okay, the spindle fibers and the two asters or the two centrosomes together would be referred as spindle apparatus or mitotic apparatus. So as you can see, the DNA has started to become more and more condensed inside the nucleus, and outside spindle fibers have started to develop, or spindle apparatus have started to develop. Now, next, here you can see the centrosomes, they would start moving towards opposite poles so that spindle apparatus is almost ready and the chromosomes or the DNA has become thick enough to be seen as individual entities. Finally, at the end of prophase, the nuclear membrane starts to disappear. The chromatin has successfully converted into chromosomes. The spindle apparatus have also positioned itself at the middle of the cell. Okay, it is at that time when the nucleoplasm will also lose its viscosity and become more solution-like. And because of that, the thick chromosomes would freely start floating in the entire nucleoplasm. So it is at this stage that the prophase will be complete. Alright. Now, after prophase, next phase that the cell would be entering is the metaphase. Metaphase is marked by nuclear membrane being disappeared. Okay, nuclear membrane will completely vanish or disappear during the metaphase, and it is most important thing happening in the metaphase is metaphagic plate formation. Okay, so what exactly will happen, you see? See, in the metaphase, nuclear membrane have completely disappeared. This is the plasma membrane that I have drawn. Okay, just to give it a definition, because nuclear membrane is no more there. So this being the plasma membrane, inside you can see nuclear membrane is absent. The spindle apparatus has positioned itself in the middle of the cell, and each of the chromosomes are now being held at the kinetochore region. Okay, at the kinetochore region that surrounds the centromere, there exactly the spindle fibers will hold each and every of the chromosomes. Because the chromosomes were freely floating in the entire nucleoplasm, so that's why they are all scattered throughout the spindle apparatus. See, they are all being held at their centromere in the kinetochore region, but they are all scattered here and there. Fine. Now what would happen, you see, continuously from both the poles, the spindle fibers will pull and push the chromosomes in a manner so that there would come a time when all the chromosomes will align themselves at the equator of the cell. So when the chromosomes align themselves at the equator of the cell, we call it metaphagic plate formation or equatorial plate formation. Also remember another important term, the movement of the chromosome towards the metaphagic plate is called congregation. Alright, so these are important events happening in the metaphase. Also do remember, because in the metaphase the chromosomes are at their thickest state, that's why in metaphase it is an ideal stage to study the morphology of the chromosomes. Alright. Now, after metaphase we come to the next phase, that is anaphase. In the anaphase, mainly what would happen is that there will be splitting of the centromere. Each, because of the continuous pulling and pushing by the spindle apparatus, finally the centromere would split and the chromatids would separate. As the chromatids would separate, we will now call them daughter chromosomes. So the daughter chromosomes, they would start moving towards opposite poles by disassembling of the tubulin proteins. So that due to disassembling of the tubulin proteins, the spindle fibers would start to disappear and the chromosomes at the end of anaphase will reach the opposite poles. Alright. Do remember also, in anaphase, it is the ideal phase to study the shape of the chromosomes. Okay. To study the shape of the chromosome, the ideal phase would be anaphase. Understood? Next is telophase. Telophase is the reverse of prophase. Whatever happened in the prophase, like the nuclear membrane disappears, the cell organelles will disappear, the nucleolus will disappear, the nucleoplasm will lose its viscosity, the DNA from chromatin state, it will become chromosome. So all of that will be reversed now in the telophase. Now nuclear membrane will reappear, the nucleolus will also reappear. Likewise, the cell organelles will again reappear. So finally, at the end of the telophase, we can see two newly formed daughter nuclei present at opposite poles of the cell. This is where the M phase or mitotic phase will be completed. Alright. Finally, cytokinesis or C phase. In cytokinesis or C phase, there are two processes happening differently in the animals and plant cells. First, in animals, the cytokinesis would occur by furrow formation. See, in the cell, which now possesses two separate and distinct nuclei at the opposite poles of the cell, exactly at the center of the cell or equator of the cell, an inward constriction called furrow will start to appear. Okay. This furrow would deepen towards the center. It will start moving towards the center. We also call this movement to be centripetal movement. Okay. So by centripetal movement, as the furrow deepens, you can see the cytoplasm have already started to divide into two equal parts. Eventually, where the furrow meets, exactly where the furrow meets, there the two cytoplasms will completely separate out and we will have two daughter cells formed. Alright, this is called furrow formation, by which cytokinesis occurs in the animal cells, because animal cells do not have a cell wall. That's why it is possible here. Okay. But in plants there is a cell wall. That's why cytokinesis occurs differently and we call it cell plate method. In cell plate method, certain vesicles arises from the Golgi complex. And these vesicles, they align themselves at the equator of the cell. Okay. These vesicles that have arise from the Golgi and have arranged themselves at the center of the cell, they now start to fuse with one another centrifugally. Means they will start fusing from the center and they will move away from the center as they fuse. So it is called centrifugal movement. So that's the main difference in the cytokinesis of plants and animals. In animals, it is centripetal movement shown. In plants, centrifugal movement will be shown. Alright. So finally, when all the vesicles will fuse centrifugally, we will have a large sac-like structure formed at the center of the cell, and that will be known as phragmoplast. Okay. The phragmoplast eventually would solidify and will form a cell plate, or we also call it the middle lamella, which consists of calcium and magnesium pectate. Okay. At last, the two daughter cells, they have been already separated by the cell plate, isn't it? So both the daughter cells, they will now start secreting a fourth cell wall in this direction towards the cell plate, so that eventually the two daughter cells can completely separate out, or they can be developed in a manner that the cytoplasm is completely divided among them. Alright. So this is how, by phragmoplast formation or cell plate method, cytokinesis would occur in plants. So this is the entire process of mitosis. I hope all of you are clear. In the next class, we'll start with meiosis.